Hello. So I'm going to read out a poem that's dedicated to myself, my present self, my past self, and my future self because I am entering another chapter in my life. And I am that dramatic because these past few months I have gone through so much change and growth, just positive and negatively. I just wanted to close that old chapter by marking it with a poem because a lot happened then. So that chapter really deserves a dedicated close. I don't want to just brush through it. I really want to actually give it a deserving goodbye because I know it's not going to be the same again. And it's just on to new things and new challenges and achievements and milestones. The poem is titled A Gentle Goodbye Letter to the Version of Me Who Carried It All. From the Zainab who's entering her soft era, her stable, sacred, peaceful era. Dear Zainab, my past self, my fighter. You can finally breathe now. You fought. You held onto your feet even when your hands shook. You walked through rooms where you didn't feel welcome. You cried in silence, edited videos through pain, applied for jobs when hope felt out of reach. You doubted yourself, but you still pressed submit. You journaled in tears, but woke up and prayed anyway. You turned isolation into intention, and now we're here. We made it. The offer came, the start date came, relief came. You don't have to hustle for safety anymore. You don't have to check the mailbox like your future depends on it. You don't have to prove your pain to be worthy of rest. The war is over. The waiting is over. The uncertainty that used to sit on your chest like a second heartbeat, that ache that made even silence feel loud, is gone. You did it. You held your ground when no one was clapping. You walked through rooms where you were invisible and still managed to shine. You stayed kind in a place that didn't always feel like home. You showed up for people who didn't stay. You stayed soft in a world that made you feel disposable. You kept creating videos, ideas, healing, even while your heart was breaking. You stayed up editing while grieving. You prayed while aching. You watched the people you once idolized become strangers, and still you didn't let bitterness win. There were days you wanted to give up, but somehow you didn't. And now we're here. A new chapter, a new job, a soft bed after years of emotional exile, a chance to begin again with more wisdom, more clarity, more courage than ever before. I know you're still healing. I know you still miss the versions of people who no longer exist. I know there are nights you feel small and wonder if you're still the problem. But I want you to know you were never the problem. You were just asking for the bare minimum in places that had already decided you weren't worth the effort. You asked for respect. You asked not to be discarded like a shadow. You asked to be treated like a human being. That was never too much. You weren't hard to love. You were just in a place where love was conditional on your silence. But now we're choosing something else. We're choosing peace over proximity. Now we're choosing to take up space, even if it makes others uncomfortable. Now we're choosing to build a life where your name is not an afterthought. Thank you for applying to those jobs when the rejection was burning through your chest. Thank you for waking up and filming, even when you felt ugly, small, or unsure. Thank you for crying on the floor and still writing ideas down between sobs. Thank you for never giving up on yourself, even when they did. You didn't just survive, you softened and survived. And now that we're finally here with a job, with a future, with hope, I promise you this. I will walk into this chapter with softness. I will take up space, not by being loud, but by being true. I won't carry your fear, but I will carry your courage. I will build a life where you will never have to beg for belonging again. I will protect our peace like it's sacred, because it is. I will write our story without giving them credit for the pages they try to tear out. I will create not from desperation, but from delight. Thank you for getting us here. I promise to keep going, not for survival, but for joy. This is the beginning of the becoming Zainab era. This isn't about revenge, this is about release. So sleep, my love. Rest your tired bones. You carried us through the storm. You don't have to fight anymore. Let me take it from here. With all my love, the Zainab you fought so hard to become. I feel like crying. Oh, that was so lovely. Now, this part is for my future self, to future Zainab. So it says, and to future Zainab, if you ever come back to read this, maybe after a hard day, maybe while reminiscing, maybe just to feel close to the version of you who wrote this, I hope you're proud of how far you've come. I hope your eyes are softer now. I hope your laugh comes easier. I hope your world feels more like home. Because right now it doesn't.